By adding a spoonful of this live mustard to your lunch plate for everyone who craves something sweet after their meals, does it reduce or completely eliminate that craving? The industry sells you vinegar with coloring instead of mustard, but today I want to share with you how to make an excellent live mustard, just like the Romans used to make. A natural antibiotic that resets your metabolism from the very first bite. Did you know that the commercial mustard you usually buy at supermarkets or stores is so pasteurized and altered that it has lost its medicinal power? Today, we're going to use the Roman secret to prepare it, to make this live mustard. It clears the airways, provides relief from chronic congestion, and is an excellent tool to speed up your digestion. As always, it's not just a recipe. What I'm offering you is homemade biotechnology. And in this recipe, we're going to awaken the power that mustard seeds have. So your body can absorb it 100% without boiling, without processing chemicals. Living medicine at your table. Let's get straight to the point. To convince you to stop using the store-bought version, here are the key facts. Industrial mustard is mostly starch, coloring, excess sugar, low-quality vinegar, and when they pasteurize it, they kill the myrosinase, which is the key enzyme for health. Of course, and why do we call this recipe living mustard? Because it preserves its enzymatic activity. The seed has a defense system that is dormant, made up of glucosinolates and the enzyme myrosinase. When you crush or mix the seed cold and of course add liquid, the enzyme wakes up and creates isothiocyanates. That spiciness you feel that opens up your lungs, let's break it down a bit. Glucosinolates. What faith called sacred, science called bioavailability. These antioxidants protect your cells and reduce inflammation in your arteries. A metabolic accelerator is a powerful gastric stimulant. It helps produce more digestive acids, allowing people who previously couldn't tolerate certain foods to now use them as daily medicine. Respiratory relief. The volatile sulfur compounds not only act in your stomach when you consume them, their gases send messages of well-being directly to the brain through the vagus nerve, calming the mind and the nervous system. The ancient Romans were among the first to use mustard seeds mixed with vinegar, and they didn't use it just for the flavor, it was a powerful metabolism booster. And that's exactly what we're looking for with this recipe. They used this paste, which they didn't call mustard of course, to strengthen the warriors before going into battle. In India, mustard was considered a method of rejuvenation. And one more fact, an interesting fact from the Middle Ages. Butchers used it to preserve meat because of its powerful antibacterial and antifungal effects. That's why mustard is not just a condiment, something that adds flavor or enhances our meals, but it's also going to heal the body and help balance your mood. And pay attention, because this is where most mustard recipes go wrong. Many say that you have to blanch the seeds by boiling them several times, and this is to remove the bitterness. But we're not going to do that, because if we boil the seeds and cook them, we kill the myrosinase and we'll lose the potency. Healing, that's what we're interested in. We're interested in the flavor that makes our food delicious, but at the same time, it should be something healing for the body, something that contributes to our health. Because the bitterness of the seeds is exactly what stimulates bile and cleanses the liver. Instead of boiling, we're going to use cold hydration. Let's get to the recipe. Here we have 50 grams of pumpkin seeds, a tablespoon of mustard. What we're going to do is soak them. We're going to add water for 24 hours, and we're going to use organic apple cider vinegar, unpasteurized, with the mother. If you can't find it, no problem. Use what you have and use whatever apple cider vinegar you can get. We're going to add a tablespoon. A heaping one. Ready? This way, the seed will activate and double in size. But not only that, because a small fermentation process will also begin, where we will try to eliminate as much phytic acid as possible. After 24 hours, what we're going to do is strain them and rinse them. Now we're going to put it in the blender jar. And now we're going to add turmeric, pepper, dehydrated onion flakes, garlic powder, a little honey, sea salt, and of course the star ingredient, apple cider vinegar. With the mother, we're going to add a tablespoon of turmeric. This is mainly to give it color and enhance its anti-inflammatory power. Now we're going to use whole black pepper. What I did was grind a few peppercorns here, and I'm just going to use a pinch, nothing more. Just this to activate the turmeric, and to give it a little spicy touch, we're going to add sea salt. 1, 2 and 3 pinches. We're going to add like this a teaspoon of onion. These teaspoons are like coffee spoons, more or less. A teaspoon of onion. And add a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. Here we have 30 grams of organic honey. We're going to measure 70 grams of apple cider vinegar with this same little plate. Unpasteurized, so that's about 70 milliliters. Here I have 30, here I have 40 more, so 70 grams or 70 milliliters, which is the same. Okay, now we're going to mix a little bit, and now we're going to blend or mix. Well, as we can see, the seeds have already broken down quite a bit. It still has a somewhat grainy texture, but that's not a problem. What we're going to do now is transfer it to a jar. We're going to have to spend some time with the blender to break up the seeds as much as we can, so it turns out as creamy as possible. And now we're going to transfer it to a jar, which will go through another process. Starch is exactly the same as the flavoring, for example. This process isn't finished yet, because now we have to do a kind of maceration in the fridge. Well, that's when we're done bottling. We put it in an airtight jar, seal it very well, and just like that, we have to put it in the fridge for 3 to 10 days. This resting period is vital for it to lose the excessive bitterness it has. At this point, the other seasonings will settle and it will naturally thicken. So now it has to spend that time in the fridge. Well, here I brought the mustard from the fridge that has been there for a week. What we're going to do now is put it in the hand blender, and we're going to mix it with a few more ingredients to reduce some of the bitterness that's left. The first thing we're going to do, I have it ready here. We're going to use a tablespoon of cassava starch, which I'll weigh for you now. It's about 17 grams, and we're going to put it on a little sheet. And we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of filtered water. Water that we're going to add. We're going to dissolve it. We're going to put it on low heat. And we're going to keep stirring it non-stop until it thickens. Let's go. It's starting to thicken. What I do is lift it a little off the heat when it starts to thicken, and everything goes quickly, and that's it. You'll see it turns into a kind of gel. Well, there it is. It's ready. Now we're going to transfer it here so it can cool down, and also so you can see how it turned out. And we're going to weigh out 100 grams of this mixture, and we're going to let it cool. In the meantime, let's add the mustard and the immersion blender. Now we're going to add almost 40 grams of olive oil. We'll have it ready. And we're going to add apple cider vinegar. 20 grams. We've already added the vinegar. Well, this has already been in the fridge. As you can see, it gets a little thicker and it cooled down, which is the most important thing, so we don't kill the enzymes in the mustard. We're going to blend. Something I want to remind you before we continue. When you blend at the beginning of the recipe, when you're just starting, when you're grinding the seeds with the blender, do it in intervals there, because what you need to achieve is that it doesn't get hot. I mean, if you do it constantly, pressing the machine, it's going to heat up, and that's what shouldn't happen. And now what we're going to add is the Acoritos oil. I spilled a little, but that's the idea. Okay, there it is, it's ready. The consistency is quite liquid, I know. But remember that what we're making here is a healing mustard. It's nothing like the commercial kind. We close it and store it in the fridge like this. To adjust the flavor, that's up to your personal taste. We can add more salt, or we can add more honey if we like it sweeter. As we taste it, we'll keep adjusting the flavor. Look, after a day in the fridge, see how it thickened. Look, those little bubbles mean it's alive. Look at this. See how it's getting that texture look? Look how the texture changes. And the flavors start to settle. That's why you need to let it rest. The metabolic use. Since it's thermogenic, it helps burn calories just by digesting it, by eating it. That's why it's ideal to have with your meals, because it immediately activates your gastric juices. As I always tell you, making your own medicine is taking back your sovereignty. And this jar is a health tool that anyone can have in their kitchen. Did you like this recipe? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up. This way I can dive deeper into these topics and share them with you. Let me know in the comments what you think. My name is Danaya Hilar, and if you would like to go deeper into the connection between your body, mind, and spirit, I'll be waiting for you on my other channel, Portal Coherencia. I'll leave a little card for you here, so you can go check it out right now. I also want to share with you how to make a medicinal spice oil. It's delicious. It's great for salads to go with meals. It's exquisite. It has rosemary, it has garlic. Well, I'm not going to tell you everything, but it's absolutely delicious and also healing. I'm leaving the video here so you can just click there and watch it. And as always, I invite you to the channel. I invite you to subscribe, to give me a thumbs up, to leave me a comment. I want to know what you think about this mustard, if you're going to try making it. And I'll see you next time. A warm hug. And until next time, bye.